have you heard accusations from me about Maurice?
You don't say, Kimmi, Maurice cheated. I asked you directly. If you knew something, I want you to tell me. And I would want you to tell me prior to walking around town implying it. The little underhanded, like those comments, I'm not cool with them ever.
If you look over the years, you haven't heard me make many comments pertaining to you and Maurice. I ask questions about topics that are big in the media at the moment.
I don't care what is popular on social media.
And that's
there
why
was a whole popular social media about whatever you did to your ex. And we didn't sit down every day and talk about whatever bad butt job you got. Nobody talked about that.
What if I told you the quiet storm had finally broken? For weeks, something didn't feel right. Not loud, not explosive, just heavy. The kind of tension that sits in the room before anyone even speaks. Fans could sense it. Conversations felt different. Energy shifted.
That deep for me, Kimmi. It was a key moment.
My point is, I anticipate key moments. I take them on the chin, but when I give them back, then it's a problem. When you decide that it's reasonable for you to talk about whatever it was you heard, but when we talk about what we heard, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble
with who?
And we gotta have a meeting with Mel.
We're in trouble. No.
So then when we want to have a conversation, most of my conversation in that moment was, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Because you had made it clear to me that when it came to his ongoing case, you didn't really want to have discussion surrounding that. So I said, again, trying to respect, I said, I ain't talking about that.
And Melody, she had already read the room long before anyone else caught on. Because what looked like small moments, awkward pauses, subtle shade, quiet distance, was actually something building beneath the surface. And when it finally came out, it didn't just shake the situation, it changed everything.
We are in a great place as well, you know? I just feel like at the end of the day, when you have mature people who are wanting to, you know, just enjoy life and move forward in a great space in life, it's easy to get along. Like, getting along shouldn't be hard. And that was my thing. I used to say that and people were looking at me funny, but now I think they get it. Like, I'm not used to having to have sit-down conversations all the time about issues with people I call my friends. I've never had to do that. And so it gets very draining. And that's kind of where I got when it got.
What started as silence quickly turned into something much deeper. This wasn't just another disagreement. It wasn't just reality TV drama. This was calculated, personal. And this time, Melody wasn't reacting, she was ready. Because while everyone else was trying to figure out what was happening, she already knew. At first, things didn't seem broken. Melody carried herself the same way she always had. Calm, composed, intentional.
Literally, I had said I was gonna take it easy on Lauren because you know she's been out sick and she just been back. But y'all see she came back on it. Like she what? I was gonna take it easy. I was gonna take it easy on her.
As soon as I came in yesterday, you said, old people got that.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got?
Yeah, what is it?
Everybody I tell, they got, old people got that.
Yeah.
What you doing with that?
Yeah.
What I have them.
That thing that start with a V.
She wasn't chasing attention. She didn't need to be the loudest voice in the room. Her strength came from awareness, from understanding how people move when they think no one is watching. And that's exactly what she was doing. Watching, learning, noticing the small shifts that others ignored. On the outside, everything looked manageable. Conversations still happened, smiles still appeared.
Doesn't necessarily mean that the road was not rough. So she can keep her advice. You trying to reach some of your goals are gonna be incongruent with some of the goals he's trying to reach. You just gotta find a happy medium. So.
I think she believed that they have done that. They're there at that point in their life.
And so he had to cheat to get there? What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other. It's like she's kind of grooming you to be a mini Mel.
And that's not gonna happen.
Well, she's trying to create a Mel Jr.
But why?
Like the mini me Mel.
I just want to be me.
I really think Mel wants somebody that wants to be like her. If you handing out blueprints, that means you want a duplicate of you. Tisha's happy in her skin. She's picked somebody else.
our situation is different. Marcel
Very
is not
different.
cheating on me.
Exactly.
So it's like, no, it has taken a lot of work to, get to us to where we're at right now.
There was a time he didn't want you to get your license.
But underneath that surface, something had already changed. Because trust doesn't disappear loudly, it fades quietly. And Melody felt it. The energy wasn't the same. Information wasn't flowing like it used to.
I think Dustin has a point, and sometimes it's hard to hear.
Her eyes were moist too.
When she said, "I'm sorry, I love you," yeah, we thought they had a turning point in St. Thomas. Like, by the time we got back, things were very different. Than the energy, Destiny had by the time we got back was different than what we thought we saw while we were there.
The same people who once moved with her started moving differently. Not openly, just enough to create distance. Enough to raise questions. But Melody didn't react. She didn't confront. She didn't give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her confused. Instead, she waited. Because she understood something most people don't. Timing is everything. Meanwhile, the narrative started shifting. Not all at once, not in a way that felt obvious, but slowly, strategically. Conversations began carrying a different tone. Certain words sounded innocent on the surface, but carried weight underneath. Implications, suggestions, carefully placed doubt. And for a moment, it worked. People started questioning things they never questioned before. Viewers began looking at situations differently. The balance that once felt solid started to tilt. And right in the middle of that shift, Kimmi stepped forward. Not aggressively, not dramatically, just enough to reposition herself, enough to be seen differently, enough to suggest that maybe she hadn't been fully heard before. And that subtle shift, it changed how people listened. Suddenly, the quiet presence wasn't so quiet anymore. The reserved energy felt intentional, and the story being told started leaning in a new direction. But what nobody realized was this. While all of that was happening publicly, Melody was preparing privately. She wasn't guessing, she wasn't assuming, she was remembering, replaying conversations, reconnecting timelines, piecing together moments that didn't make sense before, but now suddenly did. And once everything aligned, she spoke. Not loudly, not emotionally, but clearly. And that's when everything shifted. Because Melody didn't come with accusations, she came with precision. She didn't try to overpower the situation, she didn't raise her voice to be heard. Instead, she laid everything out in a way that couldn't be ignored. Patterns, timing, intent. The kind of clarity that doesn't leave room for confusion. And that's what made it hit harder. Because once she started connecting the dots, the narrative began to fall apart. Moments that once seemed harmless now looked different. Conversations that felt genuine started raising questions. And the image that had been carefully maintained, it started cracking, piece by piece. Melody didn't rush it. She didn't overload the moment. She simply kept going, steady, calm, and controlled. And with every word, the room shifted. Because it wasn't just about what was said, it was about how it all lined up, how things that once felt separate suddenly connected, how actions that seemed small revealed something much bigger when placed side by side. And that's when people started asking the real question. What was actually happening behind the scenes? Because this wasn't just miscommunication, it wasn't just misunderstanding, it was strategy. And once that realization hit, there was no unseeing it. Kimmi, who once stood in a position of quiet confidence, now faced something different. Not direct attacks, not chaos, but scrutiny. The kind that comes when things don't add up. And the more she tried to explain, the more complicated it looked. Because explanations only work when the foundation is solid. And at that moment, the foundation was shaking. But here's what made this situation even more powerful. Melody didn't celebrate any of it. She didn't turn it into a victory lap. She didn't mock or belittle. She didn't try to tear anyone down. She just stood in her truth, firm, unshaken, clear. And that restraint, it spoke louder than anything else, because it showed something deeper. This wasn't about winning. This was about reclaiming control. The emotional weight behind it all was real. You could feel it. Not just in the conversations, but in the pauses between them, the moments where words weren't needed because the shift was already understood. This wasn't just tension between two people, it affected everything: friendships, trust, the entire dynamic. People who once stayed neutral found themselves questioning where they stood. Relationships that seemed stable started showing cracks, and the ripple effect? It spread fast. For Melody, it wasn't easy. Standing in that position, being questioned, being watched, being doubted, it takes a toll. There were moments where silence felt safer, moments where stepping back would have been easier, but she didn't, because she knew something important. Silence protects the wrong things when the truth is being twisted, so she stayed steady. And by the time everything settled, nothing was the same. The narrative had shifted, the roles had changed, and the perception people once held, it didn't feel so certain anymore. Melody wasn't the one who fell apart. She was the one who evolved, sharper, more aware, unwilling to move blindly ever again. And Kimmi? Now standing in a space where every word carried weight, where every move was watched more closely than before, where perception and reality no longer aligned so easily. Some people still believed her, others didn't. But one thing was undeniable: the certainty she once had was gone. And the biggest lesson in all of this? Power doesn't come from being the loudest voice in the room. It comes from knowing when to speak and having the truth to stand on when you do. Melody didn't destroy anything with chaos. She did it with control, with patience, with facts delivered at the exact right moment. This wasn't just drama, it was a shift, a reminder that not everything is what it seems, and that sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who sees everything the clearest. And now, the real question isn't who won, it's whether anything can go back to the way it was. Because once the truth steps into the light, there's no rewriting the story.